Hello, everybody. My name is Lush Eisner, and welcome to the Canadian Money Talk, the channel about Canadian investing and personal finance. Please like and subscribe. I record 2 videos per week, so make sure to ring the notification bell to get notified each time one comes out. This is my thoughts on market happenings for the week ending August 4th, 2023. Looking at the market indexes for the week, the TSX, S&P 500, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and Russell 2000 were all down this week. Gold was up and oil was up to over $82 US per barrel for the week. The commodity heavy S&P TSX Composite Index was pressured by crude prices as oil prices retreated on profit taking after crude posted its best month in July after 18 months. Both sides of the border are also getting some eye-watering volatility in the markets. Looking at Canada, Canada's economy expanded by 0.3% in May for the month, with a year-over-year coming in at 1.9% as expected, as a large decline in oil and gas output due to wildfires was offset by growth in the services sector. A preliminary estimate for June has a negative GDP growth for Canada with a negative 0.2% growth. Canada lost 6,400 jobs in July, where a gain of 21,000 was expected, and a gain of almost 60,000 was the gain in June. Average hourly wages of permanent employees for July were up an annualized 5%, while the previous month it was 3.9%. The unemployment rate for July was 5.5%, slightly higher than the previous month. The Canadian jobs are still causing inflation via wages, but at least the economy is slowing via job losses. So in the future, wages shouldn't increase as much. Strathcona Resources will acquire Pipestone Energy, a deal with a market value of about 8.6 billion. This will create Canada's fifth biggest oil company. A report by Urbanation shows that the average cost of a new condo in the Toronto region dropped for the first time in a decade, now averaging $1,411 per square foot. This marks a 2.2% year-over-year decline. New condo sales also declined within the GTA with a 35% drop on an annual basis, hitting a 10-year low for second quarter sales at 4,610 units. As a percentage, Toronto home sales fell 8.8% month over month in July. The National Bank of Canada has unveiled its plans to acquire the commercial loan portfolio from Silicon Valley Bank's Canadian division, in line with National Bank's plan to enhance its presence within the country's thriving tech sector. The acquired portfolio is valued at roughly $1 billion, comprising loan commitments, out of which approximately $325 million are outstanding, as per National Bank of Canada's official statement. TELUS cut 6,000 jobs on Friday in an effort to streamline their operations and improve profitability. Their second quarter income fell 61% from a year earlier. The company had 108,500 employees at the end of last year. Turning to the United States, on Tuesday, Fitch, one of the three, quote, nationally recognized statistical rating organizations, end quote, designated by the SEC, downgraded U.S. government debt after the market close. This surprised investors, coming despite the resolution of the debt ceiling crisis 2 months ago. With the downgrade, it becomes the second major rating agencies after Standard & Poor's to strip the United States of its AAA rating for its loans. Quote, the rating downgrade of the United States reflects the expected fiscal deterioration over the next 3 years, a high and growing general government debt burden, and the erosion of governance relative to the AA and AAA rated peers over the last 2 decades, end quote, the rating agency said. The agency in May had placed the nation's rating on watch following a near default after members of Congress butted heads over raising the debt ceiling and almost defaulting on the US debt. Again, Fitch on Tuesday marked the country's rating down to AA plus from AAA. The argument can be made that Fitch is basing their downgrade on old data and problems, since there is nothing terribly wrong with the economy, although the debt is and will be high. and the drama about the debt ceiling will continue to play itself out every so often, again and again. Both Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett aren't too concerned about the Fitch rating downgrade. The JP Morgan Chase CEO told CNBC that the decision, quote, doesn't really matter that much, end quote, because the market shapes borrowing costs. Meanwhile, Buffett told CNBC that his conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway is buying treasuries. Quote, there are some things people shouldn't worry about, Buffett said after the downgrade. Quote, this is one. End quote. For me, this is not going to change the way I invest. All of the issues cited are known already. The job market might be showing some signs of stability in the US. Job vacancies and layoffs ticked lower in June, according to monthly data from the Labor Department out Tuesday. Employment openings hit their lowest level since April 2021, suggesting demand for labor is gradually slowing and that companies are retaining workers. And yet, while two data points don't make a trend, Tuesday also brought news of layoffs at both Alphabet and CVS Health. Google is reshuffling its Smart Assistant division and will lay off a small number of staff as a result. Meanwhile, pharmacy giant CVS is laying off 5,000 employees as part of broad restructuring. The ADP National Employment Report showed on Wednesday that private payrolls increased by 324,000 last month, stronger than expectations of 189,000, highlighting the persistent strength of the labor market. JOLTS was out Wednesday, showing a slight decline in job vacancies to 9.58 million in June. The ratio of vacancies to the unemployed remains at 1.6. Friday's monthly U.S. jobs report had something for everyone when it comes to the, quote, landing of the U.S. economy. The softer landing camp will take comfort in the lower than expected payroll gain of 187,000. The harder landing camp will point to hotter wage growth, 4.4%, and the fall in the unemployment rate to 3.5%. The labor force participation rate was unchanged at 62.6%. U.S. crude stocks fell in the week by 17 million barrels, the largest drop in U.S. crude inventories according to records dating back to 1982. Oil's price has not been positively affected, however. Amazon.com surged over 10% on Friday after the e-commerce giant reported better than expected Q2 results and delivered upbeat Q3 guidance. Now for some bits and pieces. China is intensifying efforts to bolster its economy. The country recently announced a range of commitments that target multiple sectors to instill confidence among private and foreign investors, signaling a more favorable investment climate. Investors should pay close attention to the new Chinese economic measures as they present new opportunities for investment. The country's gradual shift away from export-fueled economic growth model to one driven by domestic consumption underscores the attractiveness of China's massive market potential. Turning to next week, we have companies reporting for Q2, and in the US and Canada begins in earnest. So on Monday, we have Palantir and Lucid. Tuesday, we have UPS, Great-West Life, Sun Life, Restaurant Brands, Rivian, Element Fleet, and Finning. Wednesday, we have Walt Disney, Manulife, Hydro One, CCL Industries, Nuvei, Linamar, Smart Read, Granite REIT, Enerplus, GoEasy, and Ballard. On Thursday is Novo Nordisk, Alibaba, Wheaton Precious Metals, Power Corp, Canadian Tire, Algonquin, Northland Power, and West Shore Terminals. On Friday, we have Constellation Software, Air Canada, and MDA. Economic events next week. On Monday, we have the Canadian holiday. On Wednesday is U.S. crude oil inventories. Thursday is U.S. Consumer Price Index for an inflation read. And we have U.S. jobless claims. And on Friday is U.S. Producer Price Index. If you have any requests on what you'd like me to cover in future videos, please put that in the comment section. If you'd like to get in touch, please reach out on any of these social media channels. and may you have a profitable day.